Everybody, today, sorry about that, kind of messed up the camera. I've actually got my whole camera set up all cleaned off and everything, and literally have a paint can where I normally have my table set up and everything because I have yet to put it all back. Sorry about the disturbance there at the beginning of the video. But anyway, today we are going to be talking about drop shots. So drop shotting is one of my favorite techniques, especially around docks, and we'll get into that here in a little bit. But there's two main drop shot rigs. There's what I like to call the Texas shot, which is basically an EWG hook with a Texas rig soft plastic with a leader down to a weight. Sorry about that. Now, the leader length is something that a lot of people will argue on. I've seen people go with 20-inch leaders. I've seen people go with 2-inch leaders. Me, it's all about the weather and the water temperature and the time of the year. If I'm going in mid-spring, I'll throw a 4 or 5-inch leader. When the fish are spawning, when the pre-spawn happens, wintertime, late fall, I'll go with a shorter leader. For anything less than 5 inches is about right. Something really tight to the bottom. When I'm summertime fishing, especially around docks, I'll go with something around a 15 to 16-inch leader, which is about how long this is. This one here is probably a good 14 inches long. When I first started drop shot fishing, I didn't have a clue what to do. I took a flipping hook. It was a junky, rusted piece of crap flipping hook that I ended up breaking the hook on probably a 6-pound bass, about maybe 2 casts into the day of fishing with it, but let's not go into that because that really irritated me. I came out with a rusty flipping hook, 10-pound test main line, 20-pound test leader to a 2-ounce catfish weight, and was just dropping it straight off the dock, which I still do that. That's nothing. That I don't do. I do that all the time. If I'm fishing a dock, there's 3 main baits I'll go with. Number 1, a drop shot. Number 2, a Texas rig. And number 3, something around the moving bait type of things. A jig, a swim jig, something like that. But a drop shot is number 1 in all of dock fishing. In my personal opinion, number 1 is the drop shot. Texas shot is the main one that I'll throw around cover. But I also will throw something like this one here. Got the 1/0 nose hook right there with the swivel. Green Pumpkin Magic 6-inch Dock Lure Company finesse worm. And this one here I've got a 4-inch leader on. Now the reason why I have such a short leader is I do have this one here rigged up to go fishing here pretty soon if the pond ever unthaws. We were able to actually get the pump going, so hopefully the pump will help the ice get off, and hopefully I will be able to do some fishing tomorrow morning. I'm going to get up and get done with school and head to the pond and try to catch a fish, hopefully on video. I'll probably be videoing all day after I get done with school, but I want to try to catch a fish on video. And if I don't, I'll still make a video of the fish after I catch it. But I've got this drop shot rig up here with the Green Pumpkin Magic 6-inch finesse worm with a little 1/4 ounce round ball drop shot weight. Pretty simple setup. The setup that I've got it on, rod and reel setup that is this Abu Garcia Mike Iaconelli Never Give Up series rod and reel combo from Walmart. Very special, very expensive rod right here, coming in at $40. But I don't care. That's probably this one, my new Abu Garcia Black Max combo, and my KastKing combo, KastKing reel and rod combo. Probably are my 3 most expensive rods, but this one here is a darn good rod. I've caught a lot of fish with it. I've caught a lot of fish with the first one before it broke. We were coming back home, and something, I don't remember what it was in the back of the truck, but it slid and snapped a tip off of the rod, so I had to go back to Walmart and get a new one. But they honored it, which was awesome, even though we had to wait for like 2 hours. But anyway, 10-pound test, Berkley Trilene. That's pretty much the only line I'll run. With the leader, I actually have 8-pound test, Berkley Trilene. You guys can see. I don't know if you guys can see it in the camera or not, but there is just a little bit of difference in the diameter. It's not a whole lot. Like you get, there's the 10 and there's the 8. It's kind of hard to see, honestly, but I can assure you, I have 8-pound test leader to, and I just hooked the crap out of myself. Look at that. I just hooked myself pretty darn good. That ain't good. But this is a good setup. The hooks, I mean, they're not good. They're not great, but they are good enough for at least one fish. I do know that because that's all the first one lasted me was one fish. I hooked a fish, took pliers, went to twist the pliers to unhook the fish, and broke the hook in half. I definitely suggest going with Gamakatsu hooks, not those Mustads. That's what those are, Mustad Ultra Points. Gamakatsu hooks are just, in my opinion, they're the best. When I can find them, I buy them because they are pretty hard to find around here. Now we're going to go ahead and go through these 7. Actually, there's more than that. There's 2 right here that I forgot to put out here. There's 9 baits that I like to throw on drop shot. These are just my personal favorites. We'll go smaller first. The Little Gill. This is in white. The white Little Gill or the white bullgill. Now this is when I am bed fishing. When I'm bed fishing, I'm going to go with a setup just like I just showed you. Short leader. Nose hook more than likely, unless I'm going for big fish. If I know there's a big fish, I'll go with a Texas rig hook and a 4/0 hook and Texas rig the bullgill. And if you're going for big fish off the bed, I definitely suggest you go with a bigger bullgill. Unless you see a lot of bluegill, little tiny bluegill, then you can go with the little gill. But if you're going for a bigger fish off the bed, I definitely suggest this one right here. I mean, you guys can see that tail is just got a lot of action to it. And when it's down there on a drop shot, them fish eat it up. White for bed fishing, in my opinion, probably the best color there is, just because you can see it, the fish can see it, and when that bait disappears, more than likely the fish has got it in his mouth. And that's why I like throwing white baits. But sometimes, you want to throw something a little bit more natural, like a green pumpkin bait. We got the 4-inch Ultra Finesse worm right here, Green Pumpkin Magic. Great color, great bait right there on a drop shot. I've actually caught one of my biggest bluegill of last year on that bait right there, drop shotting it on this exact same rod and the exact same hook, I believe. If I remember correctly, I was using that exact same hook. 4-inch boomstick as well is a great drop shot bait. One of my favorite ways to fish a boomstick on a drop shot is just nose hook it or wacky rig it. Pretty much the only baits I'll ever throw wacky rigged on a drop shot is a boomstick because of the action. It has a ton of action and it just is a great bait. 4-inch boomstick by Doc Sewer Company. Or, if you have a lot of, really thin shad and stuff in your ponds and lakes, in your deep water fishing around flats and ledges, the Doc Sewer Company Flat Runner. This here's Green Pumpkin Magic as well. The Flat Runner is a great bait. What I like about this bait here is it can be rigged 2 different ways. You can rig it through the nose this way, and it'll look kind of like a shad. And you can also hook it through the right way, hook it right up through here, and it'll look almost like a little leech or something going in the water. And I think that this guy right here would be perfect for smallmouth, but I don't fish for smallmouth all that much. That is a goal for this year. Do have a pretty good possibility of catching some smallmouth this year. Really excited about it though. Next bait is a newer bait. That is the 3.5 drop shot minnow, or DS minnow for short. Something I like about this one here that you can do is you can take a small 1/0 EWG and still do a Texas rig, drop shot, Texas shot with a spinning rod, because it has that hook slot right there. And that helps a ton when you're using a smaller hook, a 1/0 EWG hook, lighter line, smaller hook, smaller weight. When it comes to weight, that all depends on depth. If I'm using it in 30 feet of water, or if I'm trying to just bomb cast it as far as possible, I'll go with a 1 to 2 ounce weight. This here's a 1. I've used to use 2. I have 2 ounce weights in here. Let me get them real quick and I'll show you the type of weights that I throw. We had a whole bunch of these weights given to us a while back. There's one right there. This is a 2 ounce. You guys can see it there. When I'm fishing super deep water, I'll just bomb one of these out, 10-pound test. Normally when I'm going with a bigger weight, I'll go with a bigger leader and a bigger main line, 20-pound main line, 10-pound test leader, or 15-pound test leader, depending on what I have laying around. And I'll just bomb cast it as far as possible with a bait caster. And I've caught fish doing that as well. Another one of my favorite baits. This one here is more one of my favorites for the nose hook rig, fishing it around deep structure, and that is the original DS Minnow. I like this one because it mimics a shad really well, and it also can mimic a goby really well, believe it or not. It looks really like a goby when it's down there, and I think it will definitely catch some monster fish if put in the right areas at the right time. The next bait, this one here is more of a big fish bait. It's a bigger profile. It's a slim, very slick, slender profile, but it can definitely catch you some big smallmouth and stuff, and that is the 6-inch pintail shad. So this one here was originally made for the scrounger head, which has an incredible action with this bait, but it is also a really good drop shot bait. I mean, you guys can see that tail is just kicking, and I'm not even moving it. Like, I'm trying to move as little as possible here. I'm holding my arm as still as possible, and it's still shaking. This bait has a ton of action. I mean, you guys can see there how soft it is, but it's still very, very tough, and it won't tear up when fish bite it. It's a great bait. I love the action on it. You know, it's incredible. I really am looking forward to fishing that bait a lot this year. Another bait, I just showed you guys that bait on my drop shot rig, the 6-inch Doc's Lure Company finesse worm. This color here is actually called chicken liver. Really good color for deeper water when the fish are not really seeing green pumpkin all that well. Something darker like a June bug, a black and blue, black magic color, and this chicken liver color is a great color for deep, clear water because it's a little bit more natural looking. And of course, with the one I have here on this Texas shot is the Doc's Lure Company 6-inch slammer worm. I'm actually looking forward to the rest of this year with the slammer worm. I'm actually going to be upgrading it and slowing it down a little bit. I'm actually going to be creating a bunch of new sizes in the slammer worm. I'm really excited about it. Bigger sizes, smaller sizes, and everywhere in between. I'm really freaking excited about the slammer worm. I can't wait to get some of the bigger versions to come out. I'm pretty excited about that. This year, we're going to have a lot of big baits. We're going to have a lot of smaller baits. We're going to have a lot of baits in general coming out. Panfish stuff. We're going to really try to focus on big bass, monster bass, probably even stripers maybe. Probably not me catching them, but I know some people like throwing big worms and swim baits and stuff for stripers. I'm really going to be focusing on big baits and little baits. Not really much of the normal size baits because I have a lot of that kind of stuff. But we're really going to be focusing on little baits for panfish and some monster baits for some giant fish. So I'm pretty excited about that. So thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't or not already. Share this video out to any of your friends that need help learning how to fish a drop shot. Probably will be doing an in-depth episode on fishing a drop shot here pretty soon once the water unthaws. Hopefully when I wake up in the morning, the water will be unthawed. That would be a-okay for me because I will be doing some videos. I'll probably end up making as many videos as possible tomorrow just because I don't know how many more days we're going to have of open water. We're supposed to have 2 more days on top of today up in the 60s. Today it got up close to 65 degrees. Tomorrow I think there's like a 30% chance of rain, but it's also got like a 63 degree temp. And then here in, I think, 2 days, it's also going to get back up to 63. So we might have a little bit of a chance to get some outdoor in-depth episodes made. And I'm going to take the opportunity. There might be 2 or 3 videos a day coming up. That would be awesome if I can get a lot of content out when the water's open. Because don't know how long it's going to last. Hopefully that Punxsutawney Phil probably completely butchered that name. The groundhog is right, and we're going to have an early spring because that would be awesome as well. So thank you guys for watching once again. Like I said like 5 minutes ago, I've already been rambling for so long. Sorry about that. Thanks for watching. Bye.